Okay, so we've got people who live in Wentworth here, I imagine. Some people from A block.
Come on, A block.
Meetings people from A block. B block. Let's see. I think you need warming up. Can we have like a half an hour kind of comedian on first? Warm the audience. Okay, I'll all go through and name and shake. But have we got people here who don't live in Wentworth? That'll be everyone there. Do we have people here from Goodrick? Do we have people who are not from Goodrick? Okay, so Wentworth encompasses all of the above. We've got people who live in the on this part of the campus. We have people who live in what we call the our outlying properties of Constantine House, Catherine House, and Moorgate. But as Kieran said, all graduates are also a member of Wentworth, and in the case of Goodrick, you're a member of both colleges. So I want to say a little bit about the Wentworth community and how that can help you in the time you're spending here, whether that's for 1 year or for longer. I know that with postgrads, possibly more than with undergraduates, you're coming here in order to study and pay attention, and there's a few people who are not sure about that. But people, postgraduates tend to be much more focused on their course and achieving the qualification that you want at the end. I just wanted to say a little bit about that, because without quoting research to you, this isn't the time to quote research, is it? But it's certainly the case that in order to excel educationally, it's important to have balance in your life. I think two things are really important that college life can help with. One is the community, and being in a community, having friends and social support around you. That's really important. If you just sit in your room and just do your course and do anything else, it's going to be more difficult than if you've got support around you. It's better for learning. And the other one is some kind of sport, some kind of physical exercise. Is also really helpful in terms of meeting your educational aims, both of which can be done through Wentworth College, although not exclusively. There's a sports centre, so all sorts of things going on too. So I would urge you to get involved in some kind of social activity, some kind of sporting activity to balance in your life as well as all your educational activity. Being part of the Wentworth community, this gives you access to a number of things. The GSA will talk about their activities, but in terms of what we do in the college, we organise formal dinners on a termly basis. The main reason for this is to dress up, because it seems to me like there are enough reasons to dress up. If you're speaking at these things, you can dress up, like I am. Any excuse. You can go to the races, but the races aren't until May. So the only other reason we can think of to get to have a formal dinner is to dress up. So we have a Christmas dinner, and we'll advertise that a bit closer to the time, and then we'll have a formal dinner in each of the other terms of the year. We also organise some events through the year, some sort of headline events. We have a comedy fest in the spring term. We also have Wentfest, as we call it, which is a big music festival, food and different bands on, and both have been really successful in the past. So please do come along to them as you find out about them. As members of Wentworth, you also have access to the facilities here. Now, if you're a resident, your key card will open the common room, which you may not have found yet, but it's through the door in the corner there, and that's where the graduate common room is. We have table tennis in there. We have football as well. It took 3 hours for Derek and I to put the football together, and then we turned it on its legs the right way up, and all the players were like this. Backwards, so we had to take the whole thing apart for the players the back way around. So please use it, because we put sweat and blood and tears into that football. Don't break it. What else do we have in there? We have Sky TV, so you'll see advertised Champions League football matches, the Ryder Cup tomorrow. If anyone wants to join me at 8 o'clock in the morning, I should be in the common room watching the Ryder Cup, but don't tell me the results today, because I'm watching it later. So we've got Sky TV, we have we organise film nights, we've got dartboard in there, we've also got we. Now, if you're not resident here, then to get access to the common room, you need to get, if it's locked, you'll need to get a key card from the porters. And the same is true for using, we've got laundry facilities here, which if you're not resident here, you're welcome to use. We've also got graduate-only IT room. So if you're finding at certain times of the year the IT facilities are busy on campus, we've got one upstairs next to the GSA's office that is just for graduates. So equally you're welcome to use that, and you'll need to get a card from the porters if you're not resident here. We're an international community in Wentworth. There's a number of overseas students, and that can be incredibly rewarding, but it can take effort to build that community from people coming from different places. And I know that when I moved to Spain, I lived in Spain for 4 years, and I went there with quite a low level of Spanish, much lower than any of you have. But I felt that I was coming to this country and I had my personality, and I was trying to show my personality through this little hole, and that little hole was my language. And then there can be real issues in terms of making friends across language barriers. Some people here may be really good at written and reading and writing in English, but actually haven't had an enormous amount of practice at speaking it. So what I would say is I'd urge you to make more of an effort and try in both directions across any kind of language barriers. That what initially might appear as a reticence or shyness may be linked up to do with confidence and not wanting to make mistakes in a language. I know when I was learning Spanish, people would just ask me questions all the time, and I would go, yeah, sí, no, sí, no, no. And then occasionally people would just talk, and they talk nonsense. I would go, you could just sort of listen a little bit and nod away. It gave you some downtime. So it's not just about bombarding people with questions. It's also about just giving something yourself. And from the other side, please make mistakes in English. I do all the time. You can spot them when I speak. It doesn't have to be perfect, and please let's try and make friends and make the effort and build this into a really meaningful community. That can be a really memorable time of your life, a really memorable year, and also help you achieve your educational outcomes too. The community doesn't build itself; it's built by you. I can help, and I'll introduce you to some of the people from the college team who can help. But its success partly depends on having a nucleus of people who will make things happen, who can decide what kind of activities the college will do, how it can spend its budget. We have a graduate common room committee, which will do exactly that. It has a chair and a secretary and a number of officers. And we have elections for that on Saturday evening. I'm getting nods from that. Saturday evening. So if you think you might be interested in standing for something, but then you go, oh no, I won't. Have a think about it, because it can be a really rewarding way of meeting people too. By rather than just chatting to people socially, you come together with a common objective. It can be a really good way of making friends and meeting people. It can be a very social outlet. You can also form what the college is and influence how it operates and the kind of things that we do. So we'll advertise a little bit more about that and try and encourage people who might be interested along. So do speak to myself or a member of the college team or of the GSA if you think you might be interested in going for one of those positions. Just a couple more things. Let me introduce you to the rest of the college team. Do you want to come out, guys? Because you're a bit hidden back there. Shall we do it one by one? And the first person is Rachel. Come on. Rachel is our college administrator. Our offices, mine and Rachel, are just next to the common room, and so anything that's an administrative nature to do with your accommodation, that you could come to Rachel. Rachel asked me to say, please don't ask her anything today because she's tired after, after a very busy weekend. So if it's urgent, tell me, and if it's not, wait till Monday afternoon. They're all right. Okay, next up is Derek. Derek is our college dean, so this is like a sort of deputy to the provost role, and also offering welfare support. So if you've got anything you'd like to talk through, any kind of problems that you're having and not sure who to go to, then Derek, if you see Derek around, he's one person who you might want to speak to. But probably your first port of call is likely to be one of the tutors. Would be one of the tutors if you're living on campus. So we have Lilia, who takes main responsibility for Block D. We have Robin, who lives in E Block and takes responsibility for Blocks E and C. And Yuan, who takes responsibility for A and B. If you're not resident here, but equally you think that the college welfare team could help you in some way, then please make contact. Our contact details are on posters around the building, by email. Leave a phone message, and we can meet up with you.